Special.
Wait, we're in the action already? Where's my opening crawl? I know it's a bit hit and miss with modern Star Wars, but this is 1978 for crying out loud. How am I supposed to know when this is happening or how far away?
That's it, I'm turning back. I know your family's waiting. I know it's an important day.
Look, if you have to have Han restate whatever Chewie is saying in a contrived way just so that we understand what's going on, why not just give us Wookiee subtitles? It's almost like making an entire TV special based on creatures that can only communicate through grunts and moans wasn't a great idea. Also, they're being chased by the enemy and in danger of being shot down, and still Chewie's only concern seems to be that he'll be home later than planned. I know Han can be a dick, Chewie, but currently he's trying to save both of your asses. Oh, so now you decide to hit us with the opening text scroll. Well, now you get a sin for being late and reading. Also, Star Wars was an immediate huge hit. Huge, like really huge. So I'm just stunned that they cheaped out so hard on this TV special from minute one. Like, you couldn't even be bothered to use the right font and coloring for the titles?
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Having a Johnny Gilbert-esque announcer for your Star Wars holiday special, but not actually having Johnny Gilbert.
R2-D2 as R2-D2.
Wait, we've just listed all the actual actors, but now we're listing R2-D2 as R2-D2? Is R2-D2 real now? Are they a part of the Actors Guild? What the f*** happened to Kenny Baker?
His son, Lumpy.
You have a character named f***ing Chewbacca, and the best you can come up with for his son's name is Lumpy? They didn't even want to name one of the 7 dwarves Lumpy. You gave Chewbacca's kid a name that wasn't even 7 dwarves worthy.
And an animated Star Wars story.
I'd give all the sins back if the next picture was of the Star Wars kitchen sink. Kids. Also, while I'm sure in a world of space travel and the vehicles that come with it, toys would be made, but it does still give the impression that Lumpy is playing with a Star Wars toy in a Star Wars special, and therefore he deserves an order of Star Wars sins. While we have no clue what Itchy is actually saying to Lumpy, I'm going to assume it's something along the lines of, no, you will not get to play with the sex toy Art Carney brings me later. And then Lumpy says, who's Art Carney? And then Itchy says, get off my lawn. What the f*** is going on? Are they angry? Are they sad? Are they mad? Does she want the kid to get in the trash can? Now what the f*** is he doing? I get that somebody wanted to show off this matte painting of Kashyyyk from above, but did it have to come with the unnecessary dangerous balancing act? Ah yes, magical Kashyyyk. Come for the Wookiees, stay for the IKEA furniture. I'm sure we can all agree that the only thing A New Hope was missing was an Olympic routine performed by a posse of miniature holographic spandaxcrabats. Also, we were supposed to get a Wookiee planet instead of Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. Based on what I'm seeing here, I'm starting to really like that we got Ewoks. This special is making me appreciate f***ing Ewoks. This text is in English, is clearly being displayed on a personal computer from the 70s, and we're expected to believe this is just the f***ing norm on Kashyyyk. None of which is impossible, but it's insane that someone took the time to create this arena of utter bullshit, but not a believable living space for this family of Wookiees. And while we've circled back to it, f*** this table and everything it stands for. Ooh, I know this one. Kiss, hug, 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 kiss, hug, kiss, hug, kiss, hug. Great. Well then, glad we cleared that one up. Wait, they can just drop in on Luke whenever the f*** they want? Why is that a thing that's allowed? What if he's, liberating some rebels? Or, polishing his kyber crystals? Or getting in touch with his dark side?
I wouldn't worry about Chewbacca. I know him and he hasn't missed a life day yet, right?
Luke's words of wisdom continue in this vein and boil down to the idea that Chewbacca never missing a life day so far will guarantee he won't miss this one, and that there's no chance that he's been shot down, lightsabered, or turned into a Wookiee skin rug.
Come on, Mala, let's see a little smile.
After Luke saw this smile, he died mysteriously 7 days later, but not before he attended his nephew's birthday party to give him a model train, but when the box was opened, there was a dead cat in it. We talk about that incident even less than the Star Wars Holiday Special.
It's all right. Nobody's perfect.
And other than a token appearance at the end of the special, that is all we'll get from Mark Hamill in the Star Wars Holiday Special. I know Christmas is about more than the presents, but this kind of feels like your parents promising to buy you that Lego Millennium Falcon, only to find out they totally misunderstood what a Millennium Falcon and a Lego is, so you end up with 1,000 tiny plastic birds of prey. A full 30 seconds of Mala typing and bringing up various screens. Guys, it's totally cool if you want to make this a 30-minute thing. No one was asking you to pad the runtime to over 90 minutes. In fact, no one was asking for this at all.
Oh, an Imperial Guard. I suppose you want to see my identification.
Imagine having Art Carney agree to appear in your special and then having him do this scene. You had Art f***ing Carney and you blew it.
Excuse me. Got a wall screen customer.
Wait, Mala dialed in minutes ago. Why is this only just ringing now? Why would it let a customer peek at the shop and then wait so long to alert the shopkeeper? Also, is this monitor moving around the shop? Because when Mala dialed in, it was looking over here, but now Trader Dan is addressing it as if it's on the opposite side of the room.
You're wondering when that shaggy carpet you ordered will arrive at your home.
I'm assuming this was broadcast in England at some point, so shaggy carpet is a very interesting code word to describe Chewbacca to his wife.
I want the rebels located and identified.
Yay! Vader's here! We're not going to see him again, are we?
Today we are going to be preparing a very succulent dish called Banthas Surprise.
Is the surprise that we're finally going to be treated to something enjoyable to watch, or is it yet another baffling facet of this very confusing variety show that's currently wearing a barely recognizable Star Wars skin suit?
We add a dash of oregano. Very good.
So we're literally going to see every step of this cooking show. Ingredients and all? Man, Book of Boba Fett really isn't looking so bad now, is it?
Guess what I forgot?
How to make a TV special? The script? My f***ing marbles?
Having fun, having fun.
One thing I'm 100% sure of is no one is having fun currently. Also, we're almost a third of the way through this special, and 98% of it has been spent on Chewbacca's family, Sans Chewbacca, who are characters we've never f***ing seen before. Who thought a Star Wars holiday special without the majority of it being based around the popular Star Wars characters was a good idea? Also, imagine having Harvey Korman agree to appear in your special and then having him do this scene. You had Harvey f***ing Korman and you blew it.
Out of the frying pan into the fire, huh, pal? How should I know we'd come out of hyperspace in the middle of an Imperial convoy?
Well, shouldn't the f***ing ship tell you that? What kind of f***ed up faster than light navigation system doesn't tell you what's at the place you're arriving at? What if you arrived inside another ship?
Due to suspected rebel activity on the Kazook planet.
Kazook? What the f*** is Kazook? Am I gonna have to keep Wikipedia up this entire damn time? Oh, so they called Kashyyyk Kazook just for this special. Man, they really didn't give a shit, did they?
Wait, not so fast. What does an old friend get?
Nothing says healthy, long-lasting relationship between old buddies quite like forcing one person to give physical affection to the other in order to receive a gift. The 70s were packed with these amazing examples of love if you know where to look. We will now spend 40 seconds watching Lumpy go to his room, clumsily unbox a present, and seem overjoyed by it. Only we haven't got a f***ing clue what it is or why we should give a shit. I am begging for someone to tell me what's going on here. The unbuttoning of Art Carney's shirt is so pronounced, I'm beginning to think he put this demand in as part of his contract.
I don't know how to explain. It's a, wow. You know what I mean?
No, I do not know what you mean. Do you? I swear this movie is like if the Green Knight had a baby with a slightly less coherent version of the Green Knight. Star Wars survives this. As Diane Carroll's talents are largely squandered on this poor imitation of a James Bond song, I want you all to remember that Itchy is watching this very seductive performance while his daughter-in-law is preparing Life Day dinner and his grandson is opening toys in the next room, which in turn is all being watched by a family in 1978 expecting a follow-up to A New Hope. As a thank you for putting up with the low quality of this video, we're going to treat you to a mid-sinning bonus round. This song is just over 3 minutes long, but manages to say the word minute. Well, you can count for yourself.
This minute.
Meanwhile, Princess Leia and C-3PO are frantically trying to get their taxes done.
You mean they haven't arrived yet?
She says there has been no contact.
Yep, each of the characters you know and love from A New Hope are dragged in via video link so they can all be surprised about exactly the same thing while being completely unable to help in any way at all. It's as if we're dropping in on each of them to accept an award they didn't even know they were nominated for a role they didn't even remember they played.
Mala, are you alone?
No, my father-in-law is right behind me jerking off to a simulation, but I feel like the less said about that, the better.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ma'am? Ma'am? That's Princess Leia of House Organa, first of her name, Queen of the Andals. Wait, no, that's the other show.
I'm Dann, a local trader. A friend of the rebellion? and a member of the Alliance.
Good.
Sure, just take his f***ing word for it, why don't you? No chance he's a spy or anything. No wonder a kid goes wrong.
So it's a long walk. A little exercise never hurt anybody.
Preferring a higher potentiality of getting murdered over a little extra exercise. Premature wikibration. They've got video chatting monitors in this house, but no ringer cams for the doors. I'm all for dramatic pauses and loaded silences. But this interminable Imperial guarding goes on for 1 minute and 10 seconds. Interminable, I say.
Will you get on with it?
This random Imperial guard would be excellent at TVSins. I like that someone out there was like, you know what Star Wars is missing? Jefferson's Starship. And then someone else was like, that's f***ing genius. Also, this song has a chorus that includes the line, "Let's vanish without a trace," sung over and over, which is exactly what happened to the Star Wars Holiday Special. So at least the song was on point. Also, this built-in music video lasts 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Here's 410 Sins to celebrate its awfulness. Also, to the fourth be with you. Somehow they managed to rip off Darth Maul's double lightsaber from the Phantom Menace 20 years before it was released. Although I am happy that there's something in the Star Wars canon now worse than the Phantom Menace.
They leave now. I guess you're right. About all I can do for now.
But what did he do? He distracted one of the guards for a few minutes, but then got distracted himself. What was his game plan here? So now we're breaking the fourth wall. I get it. No one is enjoying this, but do you have to stare directly into my eyes while we're both not enjoying it?
We are awaiting the return of Captain Han Solo and his first mate Chewbacca.
To keep Lumpy out of trouble, he sat down with an animated adventure featuring Han Solo, Chewbacca, R2-D2, C-3PO, Princess Leia, Luke, and Boba Fett. Look, this special takes place maybe a couple of years, but likely a matter of months after A New Hope, so maybe someone out there has put together some cartoon propaganda featuring the heroes that blew up the Death Star, but I refuse to believe that said cartoon would include Boba Fett, or that it would be appropriate viewing for a child. Also, if Chewbacca's famous enough to have a cartoon made of him and his family's living openly on Kashyyyk or Kazonk or whatever, I can't believe these Imperial guards don't already know this is where Chewbacca lives.
What'd he say?
I'm sure this point has been raised, but honestly, how hard would it be to program R2 to speak? Or are we worried that that would make C-3PO entirely irrelevant?
I am Boba Fett.
The best thing that can be said about this monstrosity is that it's not the worst use of Boba Fett in a Star Wars-themed TV show.
I have made contact with the rebels, and all is proceeding as you wish, Darth Vader.
Okay, let's talk about the villain's ridiculous plan for a minute. Vader wakes up one morning, finds an Imperial lackey, and says, you know what? I'm going to create this magical talisman and trick the rebels into thinking it will grant them invisibility. But when they find it, it actually just puts them to sleep. And the genius of this plan is that it'll allow Boba Fett to gain their trust by swooping in with the cure, and they'll never suspect he's working for us. Forgive me, Lord Vader, but that seems needlessly complicated. Why not just create a talisman of poisoning or killing? Or if you don't want them dead, maybe some sort of
You appear to have no faith, and you know how disturbing I find lacks of faith.
I see why they call you the best bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Oh no. What will we do now?
Apparently what you're going to do is wait till Boba Fett is returned to the ship, given the antidote, let everyone have a lovely cup of tea, and only then tell a f***ing soul that he's been working for Darth Vader. Why did this take so long? Is C-3PO working for Vader?
What happened?
I was wondering the same thing. Your nose looks like it's been split in two, and why are your eyes always closed, Han? Oh, you were referring to Luke's predicament. Carry on then, but still, animated Han Solo is f***ing terrifying. An adult going into a child's room and coming out with the room messier than it was when they went in is a pretty amazing feat in and of itself. This needless decapitation of this bantha and its subsequent surgery and or burial is the most emotional sequence in this TV special, and I'd have skipped it already had I not already had every nerve deadened into a confusion coma of what the f***itude.
Go clean up your room.
You're not my dad.
That will keep him busy for a while.
You're not my husband.
Now,
Star Wars is a $70 billion franchise.
Time now for life on Tatooine.
F***ing Tatooine. Even in 1978, we couldn't get through a peripheral Star Wars installment without visiting that sandy anus of a planet.
Well, I am certainly not going to get rich with customers like you.
Discount B. Arthur. Holy shit. Imagine having B. Arthur agree to appear in your special and then having her do this scene. You had B. f***ing Arthur and you blew it. Stealing the uniforms from Star Trek The Next Generation 9 years before it came out.
Hello, Akmina.
It's really weird they just inserted a sketch from the Carol Burnett show in here and no one noticed. Stan Winston is in the credits of this TV special.
I decided what you meant was exactly the thing I needed to hear.
Twitter.
I just came in here for a drink, and I found a lot more.
Apparently, the Empire's version of anti-Tatooine propaganda is an unrequited love story set in a seedy bar. And while this truly has been successful in cementing my lack of desire to visit that beige ball of bullshit, this still feels like a super bizarre angle to take for an oppressive galactic regime of fascists.
All inhabitants will return to their homes at once.
The next 5 minutes, 5 minutes, will be spent with Akmina as she tries to convince the locals to go home and eventually resorting to singing to get the job done. That makes this an 8-minute propaganda video put together by the Empire. 8 minutes! And a very polite cabaret is the best they could do with those 8 minutes. This next musical interlude takes on the heady task of attempting to put words to the famous Cantina Band song. I'll just let the tone of my voice communicate how successful I think they were. Imagine having Michael Myers agree to appear in your special and then having him do this scene. You had Michael f***ing Myers and you blew it.
Return to base.
Message received and obeyed.
Accepting the nonsense idea that an Imperial radio can be hacked into by a Wookiee child in their life day present, wouldn't this order have to be accompanied by an authorization code or some shit? Also, does the do-it-yourself transmitter come preloaded with a series of commands just in case you need to distract Imperial guards? It might be presumptuous of me to assume the strength of a Wookiee's maternal instincts, but it is wild to me that Mala allows an armed stormtrooper to go into her son's room with his arms and legs still attached. Was destroying it really the best idea there? Maybe check it out first, see if there's another way to end the distress signal or even change the signal. Deus Han Chewbacca. Also, TV special can't even let Han trip first. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that Mala and Chewie don't care that Lumpy is in the room. Mala didn't bother to tell Itchy to go jerk off with his sex packet somewhere else earlier.
Is this a report about the missing trooper?
It is, sir.
Trader Dan will explain that after the Imperial Guards left, the missing trooper stole a bunch of food and ran to the hills, and this will be accepted as an absolute fact. Never mind the mystery transmission with falsified orders that caused the guards to leave in the first place. They just accept good old Trader Dan's word because he has ID. Well, and the fact that the plot seems to make everyone exactly as trusting as they need to be.
May the Force be with you.
So Trader Dan swoops in out of nowhere just in time to answer a call from the Empire, make up some bullshit about the missing stormtrooper they just killed, and then pieces out, exits stage right as if that wasn't the biggest stroke of good fortune since that Death Star engineer thought, I really think this exhaust room needs a skylight. Over candling around extremely flammable robes. The one good thing that could come out of this is that once they go into the light, they might find Carol Ann. I'm sure the Freelings will be very thankful. Also, Disney bought Star Wars for over $4 billion.
It is indeed true that at times like this, Artu and I wish that we were more than just mechanical beings, and were really alive, so that we could share your feelings with you.
But doesn't wishing you were alive mean that you're feeling something?
All of you are an important part of my life, pal.
Skip?
This holiday is yours.
And yet Leia will go on to immediately say how important it is to stay united against the Empire and essentially usurps the Life Day celebration by bursting into her own propaganda song set to
a day that takes us through the darkness.
Wait, I know that tune. They put words to the f***ing Star Wars theme too?
No matter how different we appear, we're all the same in our struggle against the powers of evil and darkness.
Wow, there is literally no truth in that statement. That's kind of impressive. This is just reminding me of that fraternity paddle scene in Animal House, and now I can't think about anything else. And no, sir, I really do not want another. To wrap up this cacophony of incredulity, we get 4 minutes of clips from A New Hope, presumably because they had no idea how to end this thing, or someone had the prescience to know that it was so bad that it would taint any goodwill towards the original movie unless they slapped on a montage that screams, hey, don't forget you actually liked Star Wars before this.
Well, isn't that special? You think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
Your pain runs deep. What do you know of my pain? Let us explore it together.
I'm ending all of this. I'm gonna burn it down.
Row, row, row your boat
Gently down the stream, merrily, 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 lightly down the stream.
Oh, an Imperial Guard. I suppose you want to see my identification.
Why should I let you listen? Because I can be more honest. It's more impersonal. A person don't look at himself like others see him. You remember Dickens?
This is like the apex of the vortex of joint engineering. It's rumored that M.M. O'Shaughnessy designed the first one, the guy who designed the Golden Gate Bridge. Of course. My second favorite civil engineer behind Hans Carl Bandel, Madison Square Garden.
Hey, don't wait for the translation! Answer me now!
Could it carry my wisdom beyond the barrier?
I want you to round up every vicious criminal and gunslinger in the West. I want rustlers, cutthroats, murderers, bounty hunters, desperados, mugs, pugs, thugs, nitwits, halfwits, dimwits.
If I'd had the money, I could have been living in a swinging condo instead of with... I better not say anything till I've had my coffee. A slut and a moron.
There are 4 lights!
You see, Joe, I'm 106 years old. Been waiting a long time for this.
For what?
The great beyond.